Yeah, just tell me your name and what school you go to.
I'm Josh McMahon. I go to Grand Canyon University. The way I heard about Dangerous Men was through Jacob Schmidt. I went to youth group with him, and he was a few years above me. So he came back from college, and it was my senior year of high school. And he was wearing this shirt with a bear and was smoking a cigar. I'm like, what is that? He said, it's this Dangerous Men thing. You should join it when you come to Grand Canyon University. And and I was like, that's in, because I trusted, I'm in. So I trusted Jacob Schmidt, and whatever he was gonna do, I'm like, okay, he's a good guy. He like follows God, so I'm just gonna join this thing. And he didn't tell me much about it. And then so I got there, and he's like, this is the group, like a little introductory thing, and I was in. Like I had known about the sexual struggles with men. I'd been through them. It was like I don't really have like a full like grasp about it, like understanding. And so this whole group was like great because it not only like introduced the struggles, but also like introduced ways to fight the struggles and like fight lust and deal with it. And so I was in like completely. And yeah. So my experience in Dangerous Men, they introduced the topic just straight up right away. You know, like when's the last time you masturbated? I was like, okay. Like the book was great. They didn't dance around any questions. The leaders in my group didn't dance around any topics. Like they were nervous to talk about it. They just straight up asked the questions, the hard questions, and the answers were rough and it was uncomfortable and it was tough. But the growth outside of like the growth on the other side of the answers, the honest answers from my part, led to like freedom. And I love my first time going through it. It was really beneficial to like uncover everything and like get everything off my shoulders and just talk about the stuff that nobody wants to talk about. And it was really beneficial and like it grew my faith so much. The way I started a group was or started leading a group was a current leader or a past leader, Daniel. It was a new semester. We were talking in January and he just kind of brings up, hey, like this semester's group, do you want to join and co-lead with me? And initially I was kind of wary. I'm like, I don't know if I have the talents or the skills or the knowledge to lead a group because I just went through my first time last semester. But I prayed about it and I thought about it and I realized that God doesn't call the equipped, he equips the called. And so I decided to just step into the faith and just step in, like go into the uncomfortable situation of leading a group. And it wasn't bad at all. And through God's work through me, it was like such a smooth time. And like I could see the work that God was doing through me. So the uncomfortableness was an initial step over and like getting over myself of like, okay, it's not me, it's God doing it through me. And that led to a great leading experience. Going through the steps a second time, it let me go deeper into it. The first time, I wasn't like fully laying out everything to my partner because of, you know, whatever kind of justification I had that wasn't right. And the second time going through it was like, okay, I understand this, I understand the impact of it, and I know like the freedom I had in the last semester, the last time I went through the steps. And so if I go deeper and if I lay it like 100% out, then how much more benefit will I get from like compared to last time? And so going through the steps a second time, it allowed me to uncover things I didn't think about before, sort of things I thought weren't that bad, so they didn't need to be brought up or confessed. But going through the whole thing a second time, realized like, okay, like in Ephesians when it says have no sexual morality, that means like zero. And so full confession of like everything the second time of like even the small things in my life was even more beneficial because it was like, oh, like even the little things on my shoulder can get lighted off and they're picked off, and it's just so much better. So to the people that want to join Dangerous Men for the first time, I would say like overcome the fear, have no fear, and just step into it. Don't let uncomfortableness like scare you away from an amazing breakthrough of freedom, because that's where we grow, is the uncomfortable conversations and topics. To the people who want to think about leading a group or are thinking about leading a group, don't be scared of not having the answers and not knowing everything. You don't need to know everything. Look at the people in the Bible, like Moses didn't know everything, like Joshua didn't know everything, but they stepped out in faith and they led groups even when they didn't feel so equipped themselves. Like God builds up the people who are meant to lead, and God builds up the people who are called to lead to be effective. And it's totally God through leaders. It's not leaders about their own knowledge or own purity, lifting others up by their own strength. It's God working in those leaders and making them more humble so they can push people up.